Welcome to the Coaching Game. I'm Laurie Lawson, and tonight my guest is Stephanie Trager. Hey, Stephanie.
Hello.
I picked Stephanie up at an ICF, an International Coach Federation, Christmas party. We were talking, and she mentioned something about a retreat she was having in March, in the Amazon, and I went, oh my gosh, I got to know all about this. Come and tell me on my show, and she graciously agreed. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Laurie. It's great to be here.
Tell us, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, the name of her company is Intentional Paradigms. What does that mean?
It's funny. This name came to me about 6 years ago, and I knew what it meant then. And each year, its meaning is like, wow, how did I know that this should be the name of my business? You know, intentional means done with deliberate intent or on purpose.
Right.
And a paradigm is a set of rules or beliefs or assumptions by which a group of people live. So the paradigm that we live in the United States is different than the paradigm of an indigenous group in the jungle in the Amazon, right?
Supposedly.
The paradigm of New York City is different than the paradigm of North Dakota, right?
Yes.
So it's really interesting to see how people just kind of stick to a certain paradigm, even if it doesn't nurture who they really are.
Where does the paradigm come from? Where's it come from?
It comes from human nature, human nature. There's a leader.
Environmental and cultural and all, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends. I guess that's a great question, actually. Where does the paradigm come from? Human nature to follow, right? We follow. We need rules, to govern ourselves, and I think it's a form of human nature. Like a tribe in the Amazon, they have rules they live by. They're different than ours, but
their survival, and that survives their culture or their whatever. Yeah, okay, cool. So we're talking intentional paradigms. You're talking about maybe breaking out of your natural paradigm and creating a whole new paradigm?
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes. So I kind of have a really off the beaten path life experience. And I've been in really conventional situations, and I've been in very not conventional situations. And so it's about knowing, like, what are the paradigms, what is the way of living that really speaks to your soul, nurtures your spiritual gifts, allows you to be who you really are. And most people who are not happy, who have a lot of challenges, are finding that, and they don't obviously all see, oh, I'm in the wrong paradigm, it doesn't support who I really am. Though when we get to the bottom of it, it's how much fear is there to jump out and create your own thing or find the thing that resonates with you. You've got identity crisis, you've got rules of your society and what you should.
Financial requirements, yeah.
But what you should be doing to meet those requirements is what you learned. Instead of trusting that there could, if you were in the right paradigm that actually allowed you to flourish, why couldn't you meet your financial requirements? It's these beliefs that we've amassed, which might not be true.
That's funny. Now, almost every coach that I know, what they thought was a career paradigm. I'm making up words. It's her word.
No, it's not my word. It's the dictionary.
It is in the dictionary. Yes, it is. But it's her concept. And got somewhere at some stage, and then I know this happened to me, and it was like, oh, there's got to be more. This is not working for me. Is that kind of what you're talking about? It's like, is that all? The Peggy Lee song? Is that all there is? I have to go out and find more. Yeah.
Yes, and when you find, it depends where you're, what you're looking for. I just, said this today. It's do you seek help and find a mentor, find out what needs to happen next, or find a coach? Do you do that when things are bad, or do you do that when things are good? Because if you do it when things are good, it means you're actually on a path of you're choosing mastery. My word of the day, right? You're choosing mastery versus why does there have to be a problem to change the paradigm? It's like this isn't it. Well, maybe this is it, but maybe there's more.
That's so interesting because there's a quote that I always use, and I use quotes all the time, but I never know who to say them, but I admit that it's not mine, that says all action stems from negativity. And the thought is, well, if you're walking down Paradise Lane, why on earth would you want to leave? But if the rug has been pulled out, then it's like, okay, now I got to get up and do something. But you're saying the opposite, the ideal situation to change your paradigm is when?
No, I'm saying so for me, I was in corporate law I started off as an environmentalist. I mean, my life was passion for protecting the environment and indigenous North American, Native American sovereignty. And I was just so passionate for years after college. This is what I did. And my path was just not what my parents or my family thought, right? So I was like, I should go to law school. That'll be legit. I'll be accepted in the family as an activist. At least I'm a lawyer, right? So I did that. And I did activism after law school, and that then I burned out. And so in between, I said yes to a job in corporate law.
Oh.
Okay, so I was there for.
I think we're frying pan to fire, but
yeah, it was the greatest learning experience.
I'll bet.
And there I was for about 6.5 years, and I knew after like year 3 that okay, got to find what's next, and that's when I became a coach. I started off in health coaching, wellness coaching, and it's just been a trajectory since then. That was a long time ago. And what happened for me was, and this is when we don't change the paradigm, when we stay in the thing that we think we should, but we start hearing ourselves say, I need to make a change. I got to get out of this. I hate this. And you say it every day, and you don't do anything about it, then the whisper becomes a bang, And I actually had a big bang, and it was perfect because it led me to the next thing, which was great. Though, we don't need. That's when I started with intentional paradigms. It's like, don't wait for the bang. Be intentional about it, and let's do this.
Oh my gosh, I love that concept, because everybody I know, it's like, had that itch, and it's like, or that feeling of discontent, and it's like, got to do something. And coaching came along, and it's like, oh, that sounds so noble. Let's do that, and that's what we all decided we would do, and everybody that I know. But you're saying, intentionally go for it before you get to that point, which is so fantastic. So that would lead me to ask you, who are your clients? How aware are they, or do you help them become aware? Who are your clients?
It's really cool what happens. My client, they're a mix of, they're humans. We're all cosmic
well, that's
humans.
Good to know, yes.
They're humans, and they're professionals. I used to work with lawyers, leaders, and entrepreneurs when I thought I needed a niche and a market.
The first person I ever had on this show was a lawyer, and I'm going, this is the goal. Why are you here? She goes, lawyers are the most miserable people that I know. Nobody is happy in their job. And so that was going to be her deal, to make lawyers more content or to leave or whatever. So it's funny that that's where you started and ended up a coach, but, as did she. But I'm sorry.
I know a lot of happy lawyers,
Did you? Good.
I do. I know a lot of happy lawyers. I think law is so similar to coaching. You're an advocate. You're a trusted advisor. You are intuitive. You're using a lot of the same skills. And what I love about the fact that what I learned from law. So in law, the first thing you learn in law school is issue spotting. You learn how to issue spot, so you become an expert at that. And that's what we do. That's what I love to. That's why I can help someone really fast have a huge breakthrough, because I spot the issues, and then you spot kind of behind it. Because the next thing you learn in law school is the law of causation. But for this, then that, right? Wouldn't have happened. So there's that whole logical framework. And then my path, since I was very young, since I was about 7 years old, that's a long story, though, 7 years old ago. But my path since then has been this path of earth-based traditions, of shamanism. And so as an adult, I was led to study indigenous cultures because I resonate with their medicine, their healing, their paradigm.
Explain a little bit about shamanism. Just give us a...
It's a great thing to do, because that's a great explanation for paradigm. Like shamanism, native cultures in all over the world have a different paradigm than the Western societies. Different paradigm for solving problems. For example, they take problems to prayer and ceremony. And it's a very intentional prayer and ceremony. And they have, they're really communicating in the unseen world. They're a bridge between the unseen world. They could see in the dark. They could see the past, the future. It's a whole different paradigm of problem solving. And so take that, let's say, so we just talked about the legal problem solving paradigm, the shamanic or more indigenous problem solving paradigm, and of course honoring all traditions have their differences and their unique beauty. The shamanic problem-solving paradigm is to see in the dark, see in between the unseen space, and
See in the dark.
change things. It's not linear. It's not linear. It is causation, but it's just not linear, so it's hard to even explain it as a this, and this process.
Right.
So you take those two together, and that's kind of what I do.
Wow. And so who comes to you? Who comes to you? Discontents or contents, or people wanting the next step and not knowing how to get there?
Both,
All of the
it's
above.
all levels. It's all levels. And so I love working with people at all stages in their evolutionary journey. People who I attract seem to be really curious about, they might know what this means or they might not know what it means, but they are like, they don't come and say, I'm on an evolutionary journey. Can you please help me create mastery?
I'd be so jealous if they did. My clients never know what they want. It's like, it's like, I think I want this, but that would be great.
It could be transition, career transition, right? It could be really practical, like career transition. I don't know what my next job is. And and there's like, let's do some magic. But then also I'm starting a business. Literally, let's create your business model. Let's create your pricing strategy. Let's create your offerings and organize this and da-da-da. And then from that there's always the personal evolutionary journey that goes with, okay, then what next? How do I own who I really am? And I guess what I'm trying to say is how many people, including coaches, don't really own who they really are, their real power, their real gift.
I think that might be an ultimate goal, but boy, very few people reach it. That's leaps of faith and all kinds of stuff. And I noticed, and you say when you're explaining what you do, it's like you help people break out. What does that mean, break out of the paradigm?
Unleash. So this journey that you mentioned, this journey that I'm hosting in the Peruvian Amazon is called Unleash the Real You in the Amazon.
Wow.
Yeah. So I do workshops here and all over the country, actually, called the Unleash the Real You workshop, and it's a process for leaping out, right? It doesn't mean you have to change what you're doing now, right? Sometimes it's just changing who you are. Like not changing, actually remembering who you are and owning it and claiming
I like that. Remembering,
Yeah, and sometimes it's a journey of healing the past and breaking through different. Sometimes it's energy work. Sometimes it's just a process, and sometimes it's like a quantum shift.
Wow. Yeah. So tell us about this Unleash the Real You in the Amazon. How on earth, where did this idea come from?
I have been in love with, so my activism from after college that I was telling you about, it was in the Pacific Northwest in California, Redwood Forest. And I grew up in New York. Like I didn't know about the West Coast and the massive beauty of nature there. And when I got out there, I remembered who I really was. I remembered when I was a kid in the woods doing ceremonies and my family thinking I'm crazy. And I just felt like I was home, and so that led to years of activism. And as an activist, and what's happening right now in Standing Rock, the pipeline.
Yes.
What's so beautiful about that, and it really weaves into the Amazon journey. So what's so beautiful about that is that the native North Americans are stepping forward and saying, we're not protesting, we're protecting this water no matter what.
Yeah.
And your paradigm of this like legal process, it doesn't work. There's
doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, there's no negotiating this river. We're not giving you our water, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful opportunity for so many people are attracted to it.
Well, I was just going to ask you, what do you think? Why do you think that mainstream America has taken this as its cause? I'm so thrilled that finally they're getting the attention that they deserve. But what do you think made that happen?
Because we're all indigenous people. We were all born on planet Earth.
True.
Okay. On some level, we know that water is important. Okay. And on some level, we're waking up as a collective more consciously, right? And so, what I do, what I'm here for, is awakening consciousness. And that means that I have to do the work myself on myself all the time.
Definitely.
We all do, right?
Definitely.
And coaches really get to hold that space for awakening consciousness, and the whole movement out with Lakota in North Dakota is awakening consciousness. And that's why
and it's becoming contagious. That's
Yeah.
what I like. It's like, oh wait, we're all a part of this, and I'm just amazed at the support they got, and I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
And I think it's doing good. I think it's actually working. So that's good. But back to the Amazon.
Yeah.
What are you going to be doing? When is it?
It's March. It's in March, March 18th to the 25th.
7 days, a week, okay.
7 days, and it's I've spent a lot of time in the Amazon jungle, in Brazil, in Ecuador, and Peru, and my healing tradition, like I've been a student on the path of shamanism from the Andes Mountains and the Amazon, so initiated in certain processes, and it's really just about waking people up to what can happen in the jungle or in any natural place or right here, right now. It's just that when we go to a place that is so abundant with life force energy like that, you can't help but awaken. You can't help it. And so I'm creating a space for that to happen, though, the plants, they have consciousness too. And you can feel, if you're tuned in and you're working with that, you can feel that. And you're no longer the identity of you in your life as a coach or as a lawyer or as a doctor or as a mother or father. You're not. You're there as a soul, and you get to remember your gifts and learn to work with them. And it's a great place because the jungle is not very forgiving. I mean, we're staying in a really nice spot, a nice lodge. Okay. But the jungle itself,
they're going to be building tents. And
no. It's a totally comfort. It's a luxurious situation.
Glamping, as they say, yes.
Well, totally. Well, it's above glamping, actually.
Okay. Oh, wow.
No, it's really cool because the jungle is, you have to be present. You have to be present, and how much are we in our heads all the time thinking about the list of things we have to do, and we're not good enough, and this and that, and you're just present with everything when you're in that.
My first thought is, are you going to allow cell phones?
There actually isn't really cell phone reception.
That must be, that's going to be
once a day.
Shock right there, yeah.
You can get it once a day, actually.
I see, and I that's my distress. I think if I have this distress, it's like people are so distracted by so many things, but that phone in the hand, and they walk around like it's a part of their entity, and it's like it's a phone. Put it down and stop. I never answer my phone, mostly because I don't hear it. But nonetheless, it's not that important to me. I still wear a watch. Nobody wears a watch anymore. They have the phone in the hand. So good. There will be, and they won't. The element of danger. That would be my second question. Speak to that.
Okay, I was just going to say you can teach a class. You're going to be teaching a class one day on how to wear a watch and how to not use the cell phone.
How to cursively write, yes, all of those things, all of those old-fashioned things.
You're going to need it one day.
I hope so, because I'm ready to teach, yes. But danger, how dangerous is it?
It's not dangerous.
No?
No, there's no malaria there. This area is like there's nothing there. There's no, I don't get vaccines personally.
Okay.
It's not dangerous at all.
I mean, when you say Amazon, we all think exotic, how exciting, and that is exciting. This is your first time doing this?
With bringing a group to this area, yeah. It's interesting you say that because that's why I'm bringing people here to this place. The Peruvian Amazon this year has had more than 10 oil spills. Okay, in Ecuador, it's off the charts, the oil spills. In Brazil, the environmental destruction in the Amazon is, if you're into that issue, you know what's going on, but the world doesn't really know. And it's really important because we're all impacted by it. It's a lung, it's one of our lungs. And when you go there, you cannot help but feel that this place needs to be protected, this place and the indigenous people who have some wisdom that we don't have. We don't have it.
You'll be intermingling.
Oh
my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, we'll be engaged. We'll be doing some indigenous ceremony. We're going to visit an indigenous community, and really, the whole place is owned by an indigenous community. It's a very cool ecotourism model, actually.
You
Yeah.
know what? I love that because authenticity. I like the authenticity of it because I know, like, when you go to Jamaica, there's one side of the island that you go to, and the other side they go, no, 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 don't go there. It's like we have this all set up for you and tourists and Fantasyland, which is great if you're paying a lot of money. But you're saying you're going to actually be in the real Amazon and interact with everybody.
They have Fantasyland Amazon journeys too. You can
I'm
go
sure.
on. You know, this is when we remember who we really are. Actually, we remember that we came from Earth too, and we're nature. We are nature. We cannot survive without it. And so my mission is that people wake up to who they really are and understand their real power and their gifts in this world. They don't have to be activists for the environment. That's not what this is about. It's about acknowledging how much power there is in communicating with the natural world, mountains, trees, plants, and honoring that there's healing going on all the time available to us through these living entities, this living life force, right?
Oh, I love that. My goodness, what a great message. Yeah, I have lately, and it seems like every time I turn around, a friend is telling me, well, I'm going on this silent retreat where I don't get to talk. And it's like, really? Good, okay. I think I could do that, but I'm not sure. And it sounds like it's taking you out of your environment, your natural environment, and challenging you a bit because you're going to be in a totally different culture and land, really. And seeing what you come up with, and you're the guide. What's your optimal number of people that you're bringing?
8. It's a small group. Yeah.
Okay.
8. We're getting to fill. So
how does somebody sign up?
Request just reach out to me on my website.
Okay.
And we'll have a conversation. It's I'm really forming a group of people, the right group of people. So just having conversations with people and sharing more details, answering questions.
Any limits? Gender, age?
No.
Okay. So you think it would be enhancive? Is that a word? Enhancive? I don't think so.
Now it is.
Beneficial. We'll go with beneficial to different ages and different generations.
Yeah, so, it's really about appreciating the evolutionary journey, and you know what I'm saying, and wanting to grow, because that's all that's required. It's wanting to grow and take it seriously that this is an opportunity to completely, we want success, we want to double our business, we want more clients, all this stuff is real. I coach people on this all the time, and the best results happen when we get out of our left brain, right? And we allow things to happen.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, well, what does that even mean? I don't even get it. And
Just
there's this kind of disconnect between that.
Yeah.
Even a lot of coaches say it and they don't even know what that means. You know what I'm saying? So this is that visceral opportunity to learn what that means. I mean, it's hard to explain it. You have to embody it and
I think trust is a part of that, trusting that you can handle whatever comes along. Because I do mentor coaching for the school from which I graduated, IPAC. And, when you first start, they have all their questions written and all their, and at some point they go, you know what, I didn't even refer to anything. I just relaxed and went with it. And I said, isn't that the way that's what you're really looking to do? And it's like, it's a matter of trusting that you've got the ability to survive and thrive. I think it's a matter of being able to ask for help if you need it with the rest of the people in the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vulnerability.
Yes, right? Allowing vulnerability, and yet, being of service to others at the same time. Being open to learning new things. Because it was, when you said it, it was like, wow, that sounds like fun, but I don't know, And
also learning boundaries, learning how to say what you need when you need it, and coming from a place of empowerment versus victim or fear.
Wow, yeah.
It's a big one.
That's going to be a jam-packed week, March 18th through the 25th, or 17th, 18th?
Yeah, so someone said, well, it's the 19th to the 25th, but including travel. So someone said to me the other day, well, not everyone could just do that, just pick up and go and do that. That's not true. It's a choice. Yeah. I'm not choosing to do that, and we all have our priorities and choice. And so it's a much more empowered way to say, oh, that's great. I'm sure the right people will choose this if it's appropriate for them. You know?
Sure. I mean, it's almost anything. If it's
Yeah.
a priority, you're going to make it happen. So, okay, at the bottom of the website, the bottom of the screen is Stephanie's website. So if you're interested in learning more about it, I'm sure you have plenty on the website. Also, let's say somebody really can't go to the Amazon. Then I heard you say that you do unleash your work, unleash yourself, actually. Is that also on the website?
Yep, I have workshops. So I have one coming up next week, actually,
Okay.
in New York City, in Soho. Unleash the Real You in Soho.
Okay.
And I also do one-on-one coaching. Unleash, it's all different kinds of coaching, but yeah.
Is the
so
workshop
there's-
a full day workshop, half
No,
day?
it's
half
an
day?
evening.
An
It's
evening
an evening.
workshop. Okay. You can do this in 2 or 3 hours?
Yeah, everything is like a flower petal. It's just we're unfolding.
Yes, yes. And I'm sure there are stages also. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It could be done in a quantum second.
Okay.
Right? Like we can have a conversation, and boom, there's a glimpse, and then it's gone, or it's hiding, we should say, and that's where the real opportunity for healing, growth, and evolution is. Okay, so why did that happen? What's there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
now is your retreat, is that an experiment, or is that like, oh no, this is step one and we will go on and get bigger and better? Are you going to see, because having never done this before, is this an experiment for you to see, is this something I want to do?
I've been a participant in many.
Really?
It's not an experiment, it's an assignment.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It's to do, did.
It's an assignment from spirit and my soul.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's something that I know needs to happen, and I know that the people who are supposed to be there have already been destined to be there, and it's just about
getting them
me putting it out there and being like, is it you? Let's
getting
figure
it
this
together.
out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it's a calling, it's a
It's a
mission
calling.
for you.
Right? That's
yeah.
Look how we just came around that.
Yes.
The whole conversation of intentional paradigms.
There you go.
Look at
And,
it,
and
it's a
it's
calling.
like, okay, it's a call. It's a calling. And have you been thinking about it a long time, or did it just say, you know what? Okay, this is just naturally in the evolution, the next step.
It came in a dream.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was there in April. I've been there 3 times this year. 2 times this year, actually. 1 time last year. And
I know she's got to be talking about 2016.
2016,
okay.
yeah.
You must be jet lagged to death. Yeah.
But it was, I went back because I was like, okay, to go organize it. But after the first time I was there, I had such a profound experience.
You had to do it.
It doesn't end. It's not like go do it. It does you, and you leave, and it's happening from.
Well, thank you. We have 20 seconds left.
Oh my
Do
gosh.
you believe that? I know,
was
I know.
fast.
So I want to thank you, Stephanie, for coming on. I was captivated at Christmas, and it's like, oh my God, I've got to find out more about this. Good luck. Let us know what's happening. Thank you for including the coaching game in your journey, and hopefully somebody who's listening will be saying hey to the Amazon. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.